visceral gameplay equation. So right away we started off with the notion of we're going to use physics, and so that we can impart the forces of the player onto the monsters themselves. But we took that another step further, which was, well, let's not just impart the forces, let's actually pass on the damage onto the characters so that they can die in different ways. But we added to that the idea of critical deaths, which is if you critical kill a monster, that it'll be really loud and noticeable. And the only way to make that totally loud and noticeable above the normal gameplay of a Diablo game is they have to explode. But even though this stuff was really fun and we loved it, there were still sort of some things missing, we felt. And that was the kind of deaths that appeared in Diablo 2, where they were sort of handcrafted for every monster. And what they do is they give monsters a lot of their feeling and emotion, and which is something that's really hard to do with monsters in Diablo because they just kind of live to die. So we decided to roll forward this idea from Diablo 2 and reserve some monsters for what we call special deaths, which are handcrafted exactly like they were in Diablo 2. And what we like to do with this is we look at a monster and figure out what is that monster about, how is he built, and then try to punch that up and bring it to the forefront again. So we have something new to talk about today, which is this idea of skill-driven deaths. We showed you a little bit of this at the WWI announcement with Locust Swarm, where the locusts literally eat the flesh off the monster's body. But that's not where that idea started. It really came from Disintegrate. And the reason we started doing this was, we said, well, we want to do a Disintegrate skill. But you can't really do a Disintegrate skill if it doesn't actually disintegrate something. So the death is really a core part of the way that skill is going to perform. And then once we got there into the game, we went nuts, and we decided, well, let's do more of that. And so here's a skill you're seeing, which is called Burst of Acid, and it'll literally melt monsters all the way down to the floor.
I have no idea.
And of course, we brought something else forward from Diablo 2, which is this notion that rares are filled with a lot of evil energy, so that when they die, they need to explode. And why? Just because explosions are cool.